We're in studio with Congressman Randy Hultgren of the 14th District here in Illinois. We've talked about foreign issues, and let's talk about some domestic stuff. The government's operating under a continuing resolution, which means it's kind of like, well, we don't have a real budget, but here's some money, get by for a few weeks.
Yeah.
What is it? What does a continuing resolution mean? When does it run out, and what's going to happen?
Yeah, continuing resolution. In all my life, I don't think I really had heard that term until I got to Congress, and it's something that hasn't been used very often. A big reason why we're dealing with these continuing resolutions is in 2011, or the 2010, so the last Congress coming into fiscal year 2011, there was never a budget passed. First time in 36 years there was no budget passed last year. So government is running on continuing resolutions. So what it does is it just continues the spending at previous rates, or we adjust it a little bit going forward. But that's the reason why we're dealing with this. It initially started, I think it was March 4th, when the first continuing resolution had to kick in, or there would have been a government shutdown at that time. We passed a 2-week extension of that with a $4 billion cut in federal spending. It was bipartisan, both the House and the Senate. The President signed that. After 2 weeks, we got another 3-week extension, which cut another $6 billion. So in 5 weeks, we've cut $10 billion. Relatively small amount of money when you look at the scheme of things, but it's heading in the right direction. When you've got a huge ship, you don't turn it on a dime. It's you change its direction, you change its course, and then over time things start heading the right way. My hope, and what everybody has been talking about, is I'm tired of dealing with fiscal year 2011 and what didn't happen last Congress. We need to move on to fiscal year 2012, which is going to be very, very difficult. But anyhow, my hope is when we get back early to mid-April is when these 3 weeks come up. So it really will be I think it's the end of that first week of April when we'll have to have some finalization of do we extend this again, which I don't want to do, or can we just get something finalized to get 2011 finished up, have some significant cost savings, cutting some waste of spending that we've seen out there, and then let's start talking about 2012 and gearing up for that. That is going to be I think the most significant discussion on domestic policy that we're going to have to deal with in the 112th Congress is our next budgets, and really recognizing that we are on a course of two futures. Either we continue the way that we're going with these huge deficits year after year after year, which lead to more significant debt, and the reality that so many foreign countries are owning so much of our debt, and that is scary to me when China owns so much of our foreign debt. And we are figuring, even the planning we're doing on is that these interest payments are relatively low right now for debt, but it could be very conceivable that those interest rates are going to be going up, and that would just be crippling to us. It's already going to be crippling. It's unsustainable. You talk to both Democrats and Republicans, and they see our current course is unsustainable, and it's really leading towards a Greece-like future, the country of Greece. And so we've got to make a change. We've got to be digging in, and that's really a big part of what we've been doing through these continuing resolutions. I think many people saw the debate that we had a few weeks ago where Congress, it was an open amendment on a continuing resolution, something at least in the recent past has never happened, where every single member of Congress could file an amendment to our spending, and we had debate on that. It was 586 or 568 amendments that we had in 1 week. Not every single one of those was heard, but it was several hundred amendments were heard. We had over 50 hours of debate in 1 week. I know a lot of people who are listening work well over 50 hours. Congress doesn't work 50 hours in a week very often. So that is one good thing, is that
they should.
We should. I think we should. And you know what? We were engaged. We were debating. It was amazing. It was really interesting votes where some very conservative members were putting in some pretty moderate type cuts. Some very liberal members were putting in some very conservative cuts. That is the type of interchange that we need. I think it was healthy, but now we've got to take that next step and look into the future. How do we change course for our nation to get back on track so we're not heading to be in a Greece-type situation where really our future and sustainability is in doubt, but where we can have a great future for our kids and our grandkids, where things can be in a better place than we are right now. And I know we can be there. A big part of it is getting people working again, and that's the other most significant thing that we're going to do, I think, this Congress is hopefully get this unemployment number down below 8.9%, 9%. It's been hovering right around there for 2 years now. We've got to get that to a more reasonable amount of 6%, 5%. So many good things would happen if we get people working again.